a fun-packed session for today on the new and exciting world of V7 of Copilot for DevOps. A lot of folks have been asking. I've been getting questions about GPT-5 for the past month. I think every single call I've been on. So we're really excited to showcase what that looks like today and some of the other new enhancements. But listen, if you've been following along, guys, we're moving quite quickly, right? As AI evolves, our tool evolves as well, and that's the beauty about the things that we do here at Modern Requirements and Copilot for DevOps. All right. Well, I see the attendance number has gone up significantly. So again, just want to say welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on next level requirements management with AI and Copilot for DevOps V7. My name's Daniel. I'm a global account executive here at Modern Requirements and Copilot for DevOps, and I'm joined today by my amazing colleague Aisha. Aisha, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. Wonderful to be here with you today. This is going to be a really exciting webinar. Always great to be able to connect with you, Daniel, as well. Love your enthusiasm for this tool. So we're going to dive deep today.
Awesome. And guys, you might notice from the chat, everyone's just kind of dropping where they're tuning in from. Love to see so many faces across the globe. Regardless of time zone, everyone's attending, which is awesome. We love to see that. And just want to say thank you again for joining from all different time zones, whether it's early in the morning or later in the end of your day. Thank you again. But guys, over the next hour, we're going to be exploring not only how AI has created a paradigm shift with teams in the world of requirements management, but also how high performing teams are leveraging the capabilities of Copilot for DevOps today and what's new and exciting with Copilot for DevOps V7. Like I said earlier, guys, if you've been with us through the first inception of this tool, there's been amazing enhancements along the way. Every step, every new thing that comes out with AI, we look to include and enhance our tooling with. But with that being said, we have to do our own internal testing, so there is a little bit of a lag. And I know the GPT-5 question has been brought up quite a bit, but rest assured, guys, this is something we're definitely looking to include. It's going to be included in V7. And with that being said, let's kick things off. As you guys know, like I said, my name's Daniel. I'm a global account executive here at Modern Requirements and Copilot for DevOps. I work closely with Aisha, who's our learning and engagement specialist as well. Day in and day out, we hear what you guys are going through, the trials, the tribulations. And listen, Copilot for DevOps is here to help, right? And listen, the one thing I know confidently speaking to a lot of folks is, listen, AI is not here to replace your job, right? But AI, the folks who know how to use AI and know how to use tools like Copilot for DevOps are going to be that much more valuable leading into the new edge of requirements management. And listen, we're here to help you guys along the way and get adapt to what the new tooling can do and how it can help you in your day-to-day tasks. Before we kick things off, we want to get a little bit of a read of the room and a temperature check on how everyone kind of feels currently today with Copilot for DevOps. So there's going to be a poll that's going to be populating in a few moments here. This will help us kind of shape the webinar, guys. So we'd really appreciate your inputs, your thoughts, yeah, like I said, this will help us kind of shape what the webinar looks for the rest of our time today for the next hour. So give it a few moments here, and we'll have a poll pop up on the screen for you to cast your vote. What is the biggest challenge your team faces when it comes to DevOps success? Is it 1, keeping up with endless manual tasks? Is it 2, aligning requirements and delivery? Is it 3, too many tools, siloed workflows, kind of slowing things down? Or is it 4, a lack of AI-driven insights to move faster? All right, so I'm loving the votes coming in. It was in the lead. Now it looks like 2, aligning requirements and delivery is really kind of taken off. And that definitely makes sense, right? I think that's definitely some of the toughest challenges that we see. It's missing an option, awful requirements quality from key users. That's a good one. I like that. But listen, Copilot for DevOps is here to help, right? As you guys know, better requirements up front, better requirements higher in the hierarchy leads to better, better results on the way down. So, guys, thank you for voting. And it seems like the second option, aligning requirements and delivery, was the winner. So, thank you again, guys, for casting your vote. Really appreciate that. And let's continue on. Well, guys, Copilot for DevOps, this powerful AI-driven extension for Azure DevOps, created specifically for requirements management and for folks like yourself. Copilot for DevOps injects a robust feature set into Azure DevOps, which empowers users with features like AI-assisted authoring aligned with standards using the Elicit tool, automated refinement for audit-ready requirements using things like analyze and dynamic prompt, template driven consistency as well with text blocks, and the ability to upload attachments. All of these things combined have led teams to double productivity, or as we like to call it, 10x productivity. And listen, Copilot for DevOps, it's the #1 AI assistant native to Azure DevOps. It's backed by Azure's OpenAI security policy. So not only are you going to get the productivity, the accuracy, the efficiency gains, but you guys can be confident knowing that your data is going to be kept secure. Early adopters are reporting improvements and efficiencies within their projects with faster authoring, fewer review cycles, and significant reduction in overall project costs. And ultimately, guys, this is just because Copilot for DevOps is packed with capabilities that can address some of the most inefficient, mundane, repetitive, manual elements of your projects. Copilot for DevOps, it aids in those requirement solicitations, those automated gap analysis and the creation of AI-driven visualizations with mockups and process flows, diagrams. Features like these, guys, let's face it, it's eliminating the grunt work. So you guys can focus on what you know best. Focus your time, your effort on compliance and other project critical tasks. We're really excited to showcase the capabilities of Copilot for DevOps V7, guys, and how you can address your regulatory compliance requirements efficiently by leveraging AI. And to catch you guys up, if you're not familiar or if this is your first time, Modern Requirements, we have a long-standing relationship with Microsoft. And I love to say the joke that if you guys know TFS, then you know us. And that usually tells me how old you guys are when I mention TFS. But listen, that's how long we've been an extension into Azure DevOps, right? We are Microsoft's go-to requirements management partner and the only requirements management solution natively built for Azure DevOps. Now, throughout the 15-year relationship we've had with Microsoft, this relationship has opened up the door for an immense opportunity to bring the AI experience to Azure DevOps through Copilot for DevOps. Today, we are now recognized as a key AI transformational partner with Microsoft. And we're really excited and really keen on keeping this relationship going. And we really appreciate all the feedback that we've gotten all the years, all the enhancement requests from folks like yourself. And ultimately, that's kind of bleeding through into some of the executive level at Microsoft, where they're actually recognizing us, right, as these key AI transformational partners. So again, guys, we want to thank you for all your participation over the years, all of your feedback to help our tool be what it is today. But listen, we're not done, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep striving for excellence. And guys, V7, this is the next bleeding edge in technology. And oftentimes, what are the pitfalls for traditional methods, right? Compliance pressures, they're mounting. And today, I think the ISO standard catalog is comprised of more than 25,000 standards. So in an effort to adhere to these compliance requirements, many teams are still relying on those manual processes, which are plagued by inefficiencies and, let's face it, prone to human error, right? We're not perfect. We're all human. And while human intervention is necessary, it's still creating those bottlenecks and slowing things down, right? So reliance on manual tools and applications are creating that spiral disjunct workflow, accompanied by a series of records with no traceability, auditability. Ultimately, guys, the bottom line, traditional requirements management tools simply cannot keep up. AI is here to help. And with V7 and Copilot for DevOps GPT-5, these are some of the elements that are going to be included when we do go live and release Copilot for DevOps V7. With that being said, guys, I know you didn't come here to listen to me talk this whole time. We're going to jump into it. I'm going to pass it over to Aisha to showcase some of the new and exciting things with Copilot for DevOps V7. Aisha, the floor is yours.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that intro, Daniel. And today we're going to be diving into Copilot for DevOps V7. This update is bringing quite a few different enhancements. It's a major leap forward. As Daniel mentioned, we have the integration with GPT-5. We have expanded multilingual capability. And with Copilot for DevOps V7, we're improving how we collaborate, create, and control our DevOps lifecycle. First of all, you're going to notice on the main page that we have a new, very sleek UI. We have multilingual support on the main page. So now you can actually see the UI in different languages. Really helpful. Now, Daniel, I know that this is something that you've received a lot of feedback about before. Would love to hear from you about your experience and what teams have said regarding this particular enhancement.
Yeah, I mean, comparing where we were, not even a year ago to where we are today, I think this is a huge enhancement. Because listen, I think we saw it in the chat today, right? We have folks who around the globe are using our tools, right? So the ability to be a little bit more accessible, a little bit more open, a little bit easier for some of those other folks. Guys, like I said, we heard your feedback. We take that into consideration. So all those enhancement requests that you guys submit, we take them seriously, guys. And this is as a result of that. So great job, team, on our side. But yeah, guys, like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So Aisha, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, exactly. It is the tip of the iceberg. We've gone global with Copilot for DevOps. And of course, with this interface, you now have a more accessible, more inclusive type of platform for your teams across the world. Also, everyone has been very excited about the integration of GPT-5. So with GPT-5, you can now select that option within any of the different within any of the different functions of Copilot for DevOps. You'll be able to select GPT-5 as one of those options. So this gives us responses that are more in-depth, more detailed, and hit the mark more frequently. It means smarter requirement analysis. It means clearer acceptance criteria. And of course, more natural conversations across every module. So this is one of the key enhancements that we have been able to bring into Copilot for DevOps V7.
I can't tell you how many times I've been asked this, Aisha, and I think it's because, listen, I think, a lot of folks are seeing GPT-5 in the other AI tools, and they're saying, this is a game changer, right? This is really enhancing the quality and the accuracy of what we're looking at and what we're trying to achieve. And like I said, guys, GPT-5, I actually just saw a question come up. Will GPT-5 be the default? Or if not, can we set it as such? So yes, you do have the ability to set this in the admin panel of Copilot for DevOps, where you can actually specify which model you want for each individual capability of the actual tool itself. From what I understand, though, we've done our own internal testing, and when you open up the tool, it will come with the suggested ones that we recommend based on our internal analysis and testing. However, this is definitely something that you guys can configure, where if you want GPT-5 to be the default, you can definitely do that as well. So yes, definitely something that's possible.
I think it's really important to mention that the choice is there. So you have that ability to get those really detailed responses. Of course, GPT-5 is a high reasoning model as well. So when you need that, that's available to you. But sometimes you can go with the lower model and still get really good results. So now you have that choice available. And again, that comes directly from the input of our clients.
Guys, AI is not the be all and end all, right? At the end of the day, at Copilot for DevOps Modern Requirements, we truly believe that the best results are AI generated, human edited. That will yield for the best results. Because listen, nobody understands the business better than you guys. Nobody understands what you're trying to achieve more than you. So AI is simply a way to expedite or speed up the process. But listen, you guys, it's called Copilot for a reason, right, Aisha? They have full control. And listen, it's only here to help.
Exactly. Using tools like AI Edit, of course, you can further enhance your work items. You can make those changes manually and also using AI as well. And on the topic of the AI Edit function, we do have a new enhancement that I think a lot of people are going to really appreciate here. With our main menu of Copilot for DevOps, you will now be able to access here in the View Options panel Copilot for DevOps from the side pane. So directly within the Azure DevOps main window, you can access Copilot for DevOps from the panel. When you open Copilot for DevOps, you're going to be brought into the chat interface. You can select a work item to start the chat. And so now you can actually contextually switch and have a chat with your different work items. You could, of course, do things like explore and review work item content. We could see if there are any gaps. You can also add your attachments, pull in your different attachments, utilize text blocks and so on directly from here in the side panel. So no more context switching. You are able to, of course, do things like generate your user stories directly from here. So I think for all those who are involved in sprint planning, product owners, scrum masters, project managers, a lot of team members have asked for this. And so we have provided you with this enhancement here. So for instance, I could go ahead and I could ask the system to tell me about potential gaps in this feature. So because it's so seamlessly integrated into the View Options panel here, you can do your sprint planning in one place, have access to Copilot for DevOps in that exact same area.
Aisha, I love this. This is awesome. I haven't actually, guys, I'm genuinely surprised because I haven't seen this aspect of it yet. But this actually came from a few of our current clients where they're like, hey, I'd love to kind of look at the backlog and chat at the same time and understand where the project is at. So like you said, POs, Scrum Masters, PMs, they really, really resonate with the chat functionality and the way that this is set up beautifully. I love it. This is awesome.
Yeah, you got it, Daniel. Again, we are listening to the feedback. So please keep it coming. We really strive to enhance this tool, meet those different needs of team members. So as you can see here, after asking the system what gaps are there in the feature, it gave me a list of options. And then I asked it to suggest new user stories that could fill those gaps. And so here we have a few options. So we could ask the system to now create those stories directly underneath this feature. And again, sprint planning is simple. Managing your projects becomes simple with this support. Now, another function that has arrived specifically because of feedback has been the integration of wiki CRUD support. So for the first time, you can create, read, update, and delete wiki pages directly from chat. So there's no need to navigate elsewhere. You can simply document ideas, refine specifications, or update your linked content as you chat. So this closes the gap between conversation and documentation. I know this was a big one as well. In addition to this, we have a new enhancement which allows you to have concurrent chat sessions. So for instance, in the previous versions, when we opened up our chat function, we would have to wait for one chat to finish before we would be able to start a new one. Now I can concurrently have two different chat windows open. So I'm going to ask the system to create a feature called customer onboarding process. And while that's happening, I'll create another chat here. And I'll also ask in this new chat for the system to create a query for all my, let's say, my task work items. So now you can see both of these chats are concurrently loading. It means that you don't need to wait. You don't have to worry about context switching too much. You can start a new query while another is generating. And it's perfect for multitasking during your requirements analysis, during sprint planning, and so on.
This is awesome. I think this is like a PM or a Scrum Master's dream, right? Imagine guys doing analysis while like in two different ways, right? At simultaneously. That's I don't even think any other AI tools allow you to do something like that without having to open up another window, right? And do the prompting at the same time. But you could do this in the same window, two different completely different tasks at the same time. This is awesome. I love this, Aisha.
Yes, I thought you would, Daniel. This one really does change the game. Of course, we can continue to make edits to our work items. We can continue to create new queries, make changes to queries. We can do things like have the system support us with creating those repro steps or with prioritizing our features for a sprint, or even, of course, creating diagrams directly in the chat function. So all of that great functionality is just enhanced with the ability to have multiple chats taking place at the same time.
Yeah, and you know what? I see a question in the chat. Is it still the case that the chat functionality uses more tokens than elicit? Guys, I think the proof is in the pudding, right? Elicit, we're just generating work items. With chat, we're doing much more in-depth analysis, not only just creating work items and analyzing them, but orchestrating your work items and your data at a higher level. So if it didn't have the ability to do all these amazing things, then I would imagine token consumption would be similar. However, we're doing very complex, very high operating things, which would result in the usage of more tokens. And guys, keep in mind, right? What we make available out of the box is a complementary LLM, right? To help you guys get started and help you get going early. However, we do have the ability to point your own LLM service directly into Copilot for DevOps. So those token limits that we put with our complementary LLMs can be virtually non-existent, right? Because now you guys own the LLM. Your organization owns the LLM. You could set your own limits, right? So tell them, hey, I want unlimited tokens. I want to be able to have multiple chats going, multiple analysis, help me do my job more efficiently and more productive. And not only that, there is the aspect of, hey, you could tune your own LLM on the back end as well. So great question. Aisha, back to you.
Excellent, excellent. Now, we've seen how the overall platform has been enhanced, how the chat function has been updated. Let's dive into the diagram function. And I think this is going to be very exciting for quite a few people today. We have a couple of enhancements with our diagram functionality. One of these enhancements now allows you to have your diagrams be saved. So you can now save your various diagrams on the right panel. Give me one moment here, just having a little technical difficulty, but that is okay. We're going to make it work today. So one moment, I'm just going to do a quick refresh of the page here. And we're going to try this again. So with our new diagram, yes, please go ahead, Daniel.
While you're doing that, Aisha, I see another question in the chat. Is Copilot for DevOps only available for Azure boards? So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but we're going to be addressing this question, guys, in the next couple of minutes here. But great question. And I see there's one more. Is there a way to use a visual modality aspect in the tool to upload an image and create work items? So I think that's kind of aligned with what you're looking at here, Aisha, right, with the diagramming tool. But the answer is yes, guys. You can use Word files or PDF or images to not only create requirements using the elicit or the chat functionality, but let's say in reverse order, right? If we have, let's say, textual requirements we want to use to build out diagrams, you can do that. Or if you have an image itself that you want to potentially upload, that's something that's going to be available in this tool as well. And you'll see in the bottom left corner, you can upload a file to create your process flow based on as well. So all those ones you have in Visio or any other those other tools, you can now upload them directly to this tool in the diagram function and create the diagram as well as the markup. Over to you, Aisha.
You've got it, Daniel. Yes. So one of the key enhancements that we have created for Copilot for DevOps v7 is the ability to have your diagrams be saved here in a panel. So you now will be able to see all of those different flowcharts and class diagrams and mind maps that you've created all in one place. Another major enhancement here with this tool is the ability to now have version control. So now we can create different versions of our flowcharts, of our diagrams, and so on. So let's say for this particular diagram, I make a change to it. Maybe I say, please enhance the authenticator node to ensure that it fully aligns with accessibility standards. We can always use the rewrite prompt function, by the way, whenever we're working with this tool or any of the tools within Copilot for DevOps. And using rewrite prompt enhances the prompt so that it is a little bit more clear, so that it has the full context, so the system can properly fulfill the request of the user. So here the system is making that enhancement, as you can see. And when I check my versions, I now have version 1 available, as well as version 2. So this, again, is a game changer for a lot of teams. In addition to this enhancement, we have enabled teams to be able to publish only to one work item. And so you might wonder, why is that important? What was happening previously was that there wasn't necessarily a clear link between visuals and requirements. So it was creating a little bit of confusion. And so with the feedback from teams, they realized it would be better to ensure that you can only publish one diagram to one requirement. Of course, you can always utilize this tool to publish different versions or to do different types of different types of work with your flowcharts, your diagrams, your class diagrams, etc. But the one-to-one publishing rule helps to keep your environment clean and ensures a clear link between your visuals and your requirements. So that's another pretty big enhancement here. What are your thoughts on this one, Daniel? Would love to hear from you on this one.
I personally, oh, here I am. I personally love the way that this looks. Not only do guys, I'm a big emoji guy, so I love the emojis on the side panel. But what I can say is the versioning of the diagrams is a huge enhancement. That was actually another enhancement I think from some of our clients where they said, hey, what if I wanted to create multiple versions of the same diagram for one tool but different versions of the same tool, right? This is the way that you do this. And I love the ability that the tool has where in this little node where it says authenticator, you can have more context, right? More information. I think in the previous version, I think it was very limited in terms of the ability to add that. So that's something that's really amazing. Guys, I want to call out something in the chat because I see a lot of questions on, hey, can you import a BRD and generate features? Guys, keep in mind, this is a V7 release webinar. We're showcasing some of the newer stuff. If you're curious to learn more about how the tool can apply to your current use cases that we might not be able to get today, I definitely encourage you, go to our website, book a demo, book a call with our sales team or myself. We'll be happy to take you on that journey to understand how our tools can potentially help. So be mindful, guys. We won't be able to cover all of the use cases today, but rest assured, we're happy to take you guys on that journey and understand how Copilot for DevOps can be applied to your day-to-day tasks.
You got it, Daniel. There is so much. There really is. We're only really scratching the surface here today. I know that some folks here may be newer to Copilot for DevOps V7. And if you look in the chat, our team has dropped something in there that can help you. It's a bit of a primer so that you can familiarize yourself a little bit more with the tool. So we've seen some of our enhancements to the diagram function. I'd love to hear from people in the chat as well. What are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts on what you've seen and how can this possibly support you and your team members with the work that you're doing? Now, in terms of visuals, there is a tool that a lot of team members find really beneficial, and that's the mockup function. With the mockup function, we have a couple enhancements here as well. One, we also have the side panel, so you're also going to be able to access your previous mockups directly from this sidebar. Looking really good, right? Simple prompt that we added, which just as a quick reminder for folks, whenever you're working with Copilot for DevOps, you do have the ability to use text blocks. So the text blocks provide repeatable context that you can simply add in. In fact, that's how I added this information. I simply inserted a text block. Another small UI change that we made here is we've incorporated our text blocks in this panel. So we have Smart Prompt, which will support you if you need help with any of the functions in Copilot for DevOps. We want to make it simple for you to learn how to use the tool, so you can always use Smart Prompt. And of course, if you want to really get hands-on and learn about the tool, you can always book a demo. So we have added that link to the screen. Feel free to click that link and to book a demo.
Right above, guys, you'll see book a demo. Guys, we're really excited to help you and really help you on this journey, right? And I see a bunch of questions asking, guys, when is this available? When can I get this? Guys, be patient. This is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I think early November is our expected release time for Copilot for DevOps V7. So stay tuned. If you want to learn the exact date, book a demo, set up a call with us. We'll be happy to share some more insights and a more intimate one-on-one conversation. I don't have an exact date at the moment, but from what I understand, early November is our expected release date for V7 of Copilot for DevOps.
Yes, indeed. We are here to support. We are here to really help with getting team members onboarded and involved in all of the different enhancements. And of course, things are always evolving quite quickly. So certainly get in touch with us. We'd be happy to support you with that process. Now, you see, we've created this beautiful mockup here using our prompt, and we've actually made some changes to it using the chat function. So for those of you who are big fans of the mockup tool, this got a major boost with the addition of a chat function. You can now have a conversation with your mockup. So for instance, I asked the system to refine the look of the page so there are no gradients. The system was able to make certain changes to the overall page. In addition to being able to chat with the mockup as a whole, you can also work on specific components. So for instance, we can edit components of our mockup. Let's say I choose this option here. You'll see in the chat, it's highlighted the section, and we can make a change specifically to that section of the mockup. Would love to hear in the chat what your thoughts are on this enhancement. How is this going to help your team? What are some of the ways that you could see yourself using this tool? I'm going to say, please change the icon so it is more aligned with onboarding. And of course, I'll use my handy rewrite prompt tool. A benefit of using rewrite prompt is also that you can make sure the system has fully understood what you're requesting. You can always make tweaks as you go. Of course, as you create your prompts and you really like your prompts, you can save them as text blocks and reuse them across your project. And here we go. So the icon has changed for that particular section. This is a real game changer, I believe, in terms of what teams have been asking for. Also, you do have your version control as another function here. We've had multiple versions of this mockup. Let's take a look at how it's evolved over time. Version 3, version 4, 6, 7. This one is going to be a lot of fun for people. I know, Daniel, you obviously have a lot of thoughts on this.
No, you know what? It's funny because I was talking to one of our clients, and they said, Daniel, it would be awesome if you could have the version control within the window without having to publish it as a work item, right? Because in the older versions, right, you'd have to publish it as a work item, go back, maybe upload what you built, and then retweak it or anything like that. But this is really awesome, and I love the ability to have that chat function on the left hand side as you're building it out, right? I think a lot of people understand that, listen, conversational AI is how we really got to know AI from its infancy, right? So a lot of people are very comfortable with it. The fact that we're making this available right within the UI directly as you're building out your mockup, I think is a really, really great enhancement. Because listen, at the end of the day, there's always, once you start building something out, there's always that last, I just remember I needed this aspect or I needed this. Use that chat function on the left-hand side to quickly make those quick edits, and you're off and running.
You got it, Daniel. Again, I am seeing a lot of folks in the chat saying this is a game changer. People are saying these are great enhancements. So again, if you want to see this and really dive into it, as Daniel's doing, click that
Book a
link
demo,
there.
guys. Spend some time with us.
Yeah.
We'll and the beauty about interacting with our sales team and even our PS team with folks like Aisha is that we'll dive into your use cases on a one-on-one basis, right? Really kind of get into the nitty-gritties of how you're doing things today, how we can make it better, and how Copilot for DevOps can aid in the efficiency and productivity of your day-to-day.
That's right. I think that's what we're really wanting to do for our customers is enhance their efficiency, their quality and accuracy as much as possible. So by the way, you can do things like edit text. So you can, of course, make your manual edits if you'd like. directly to different components here of your mockup. We can do things like change colors of certain components, or we could even edit the page as a whole and make changes. In addition to being able to chat with your mockup and to save all of your mockups in the side panel, as well as version your different mockups, you're going to see another enhancement here on the right-hand side, where the system is going to only create the first page of your mockup to begin, and it will give you the option after that to determine which other pages you'd like to process. This came as a direct request from clients who felt as though sometimes the mockup was really trying to give them a lot of different pages that weren't always necessary. And so we listened and we said, let's give you more choice here. So now these options are options that I generated after creating the dashboard to begin. You can also click generate all, and the system will generate all of the selected pages. Of course, you can do things like add pages as well. So if you wanted to add an additional page, you can do that. The whole UI is looking more sleek overall. And you can, of course, publish to a new or an existing work item. Again, this is a pretty big enhancement for a lot of team members. So again, would love to hear from you in the chat. What are your thoughts on these enhancements? You've seen the diagram enhancements, the mockup enhancements, the chat enhancements, the overall UI enhancements, etc. So what is standing out for you? Now we are coming close to the end of our session today, but there are still quite a few different enhancements to dive into. One of those is the integration with modern requirements for DevOps. Now, modern requirements is, you could call it the mother company. And we wanted to really enhance the experience for customers who use both modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps. We now have a mandatory fields panel. So this helps to ensure that all required fields are filled before a work item is created or published. Let's say you're using the elicit function and you want to generate a requirement for your feature. However, the requirement has some custom, or it has some required fields, some mandatory fields. So what would typically happen is you would, in the past, you'd try to generate your requirements, and then unfortunately, it wouldn't work because you had those mandatory fields that needed to be filled out. However, now what the system is going to do is it's going to allow us to go ahead and fill in that mandatory field. So when we create the linked work item, create the child, it takes us into the work item and allows us to fill in that required field, that mandatory field. So then when we save, the system will now be able to create that work item in the system. So this prevents that challenge of not being able to create your work items quickly using the elicit function. This one, again, came from a lot of enhancements, a lot of modern requirements users in particular. So, Daniel, I'd love to hear from you about what your thoughts are on this enhancement, especially on those users who are both modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps users.
And this actually touches upon a few questions we had earlier in the chat, like, hey, what if we have our own system requirements, subsystem requirements, our own custom work items, our own custom fields? Guys, as you know, Copilot for DevOps really takes into account whatever configurations that you guys have done at the process template level all the way down to the work item level. But we did understand that there were some unique circumstances where some organizations really relied on these custom fields. So through the enhancement requests and feedback from our clients, I think this is amazing, and I love it because also it reminds you that, hey, I forgot to fill that out, or I forgot to populate that, or that's something that we need to include. And having this available in the elicit function, I think, is a game changer. And I think, for all the newer folks, and I see Priyanka, or sorry, someone's question in the chat, can we create bulk requirements from a single feature? The answer is yes. And Aisha, I think from what we understand, chat functionality allows you to update those drop down or pick list fields, right? But in the elicit function, it was a little bit of it was something that we were working on. So having the ability to, as soon as you publish that work item, it pops up saying, hey, we have to make sure to fill out this mandatory field. I think this is a really great enhancement, and one that could really help, I would say, elevate project delivery for folks.
Yeah, 100%. And the great thing about this function is that you do have that ability to set up elicitation. So
I was just gonna say that, Aisha. Because I was like, in the past, everyone always asks Daniel, how do I upload my documentation? How do I upload an image or a BRD or an FRD? And I always say, guys, you got to go to the 3 dots on the right-hand side. And everyone says, it would be nice if it was just right there for me. And I see now it's included, so that's awesome.
Great minds think alike. So yes, you can absolutely attach those files. I did see a question in the chat there about attaching those FRDs, maybe your PRDs, etc. Yes, you can certainly do that with this setup elicitation function.
I think the thing I love the most about it, Aisha, is the fact that you can apply this through the whole hierarchy of your work items. So not only when you're developing those high-level requirements, the epics, but you can go from your epic down to your feature, down to your user story, down to your test case, bugs, tasks, and it can consider that attachment, that BRD, that image, that documentation, all the way through the hierarchy, which I think is a huge value add as you're kind of developing, your requirements.
Yeah, you got it. Just because I know that there probably are some QA engineers on the call today, I had to just quickly show the creation of the test cases. For anyone who hasn't seen this yet, this saves QA team members such a significant amount of time. You have your test case here ready to go, create your linked work item, you have your traceability, and there you go. So just wanted to put that little cherry on top for those testers in the room today. Now, something that we have to talk about, this is a major enhancement as well, is the addition of word template selection for our SOP document generator. Now I see you're already smiling, Daniel, because this is something we had many clients asking us about. We have our own Word templates. We want to make sure that we download our documents onto that Word template. So let's show you exactly how this works. We'll start by asking the system to create an SOP. By the way, you can, of course, upload files if you need to. You can insert your text blocks here. You can choose your work items as context. One change we made to the UI is that generate with QA is now one of the options, whereas generate without the Q&A is the default for those who just want to quickly create their documentation and their SOPs. Again, thank you so much to everyone in the chat for the great feedback. Again, if you haven't had a chance to try the tool, feel free to click on that link there that says book a demo. We'd be happy to walk you through the tool, bring your own individual use cases, and so that you can see exactly how it would work for you. Now, the system has created this SOP, or it's in the process of creating an SOP for us here. Of course, you can make changes by regenerating. You can add a different prompt if you need. You see that the generator has created a pretty sleek SOP for us, even with our flow chart. And now this is the good stuff here. When you click Save As, Word or PDF, now you have the option to select your Word template. So you can bring in a Word template with your logo, your header, your footer, everything that you need. And once it's uploaded to the system, you'll just be able to select it from here. And we'll go ahead and use our default template. The document was created here. And voila. Look at this. I know this is something that's really
I
exciting,
love
right?
this,
I knew you'd
Aisha.
love this.
Yeah, I mean, if we have any folks on the call on the webinar today that are familiar with modern requirements, they would know we already have this available, right? This is already something that's included with Smart Docs, right? The ability to upload those company-specific templates, and through enhancement requests and feedback from our clients, they said it would be awesome if we had this ability in Copilot for DevOps when we're doing the SOP document generator. So that ability to create those standardized reports, guys, you won't have to mess around with those margin lines and those headers and footers, making sure everything's aligned. Let AI do the grunt work for you guys, right? That's what it's all about. And that's, I would say, a core theme of what our tools are kind of aiming to do.
Incredible. Yeah, I know that this is something that can save teams a significant amount of time. It's something that many people have asked for. Again, we'd love to hear your feedback. Put in the chat what has stood out for you so far. What are your thoughts? What are you going to be doing with this tool? Again, it is going to be launched very, very soon. And we have other enhancements that are in the roadmap as well. So certainly book a demo and you'll be able to connect with us, find out about all the latest things that are happening in the team and with Copilot for DevOps.
This is a great time, Aisha, to get some feedback. Guys, we're going to have a poll based on what we just saw today. It's going to come up in a few seconds. We'd love to hear from you guys, about what feature of Copilot for DevOps v7 impressed you the most. So we'd love to get your feedback. And guys, like I said throughout the call today, feedback from folks like yourself has really driven the innovation and the enhancements that we've made to this tool. So listen, we'd love to hear from you guys. What feature of Copilot for DevOps v7 impressed you the most? Was it GPT-5, the multilingual support, the right side panel in backlog and sprints? I personally like that one a lot. Diagram and mockup history and version control, the ability to chat directly with mockups. Or is it, hey, we love those word templates, selection, and document generator? Or guys, we love everything. Keep going and keep including all these amazing enhancements throughout the evolution of the tool. It looks like the last answer is getting the most attention. Everyone loves all the great enhancements, so that's great to see. Looks like we have word template or diagram history as close second. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think all these enhancements are really, really amazing. And again, guys, expected release is early November. So I would probably anticipate maybe second or third week of November. This will be live and available to all folks. And if you're using the cloud version of Azure DevOps and Copilot for DevOps, this enhancement and upgrade to V7 will be launched to you guys automatically. Awesome. So it looks like all the above, everyone. Thank you for your feedback. And guys, not only do we encourage you guys to interact with us, and understand how our tool can help, but listen, we're here to help even extended to that as well. And AI for DevOps Academy is something that can facilitate the learning and enhancements, the learning and I would say overall improvements of our tools, but also for yourself as well. So I would encourage all you guys to register for AI for DevOps Academy, understand how our tools can help. Aisha, I know this is near and dear to your heart. I'd love for you to talk about AI for DevOps Academy because, guys, Aisha was the one who developed this.
Thank you so much for that, Daniel. Yes, indeed. We're thrilled to announce that this self-paced learning platform empowers teams to master AI-driven DevOps workflows using Copilot for DevOps. And it is valued at $3,000, but we are offering it right now at no cost. So please do jump onto that opportunity. You can scan the barcode to claim your access, or you can click that link there that says register now. Again, it has been such a pleasure being able to present some of these enhancements to you today. Always great to spend time with you, Daniel. I appreciate you all, and I hope to see you soon in a demo.
Thank you, Aisha. Today's session was amazing and taking us through some of the new and exciting things with Copilot for DevOps V7. Like we said, guys, AI for DevOps Academy, register using the link above. $3,000 value, completely free, given the fact that you guys attended this webinar. So take advantage of it, right? If you're on the fence or you're unsure, hey, does this make sense for us? I would definitely encourage you go through AI for DevOps Academy, right? That's the best way to understand, hey, does this make sense for me, myself, and our organization, my team? Not only will you learn the tool, but you'll get the ins and outs of the value that this tool can add as well. And guys, like we've been saying throughout the call, even if you're on the fence, you're unsure, or you want to understand how this tool can help, book time with us, start a trial, book a demo, get in touch with us. Our sales team and our support staff will be happy to take you guys on this journey on how AI and Copilot for DevOps can not only increase the productivity, the accuracy, and the efficiency of your product, but let's face it, it's going to be able to make you guys happier, a sense of ownership in the work that you're doing, and a sense of pride as well. So guys, book a demo, start a free trial, get in touch with us. You can reach out to me directly. My contacts are there, my email's there. Please don't be afraid to reach out, and I'll be happy to help you folks along the way. With a couple minutes we have left, I'd love to touch upon some of the questions that we have in the chat. So let me pull up some of these. And yes, the recording will be sent afterwards, guys, as a fast follow-up. And I see one question: do you cover multi-level requirements, hierarchy, and tracing? So yes, we didn't get a chance to show it particularly in detail today. However, Copilot for DevOps, when you're using the elicit function or you're using any of the other functions, the traceability aspect is built in. And what I mean by that is we've built the tool to be so intertwined into the Azure DevOps landscape that you cannot even proceed with creating a work item unless you're linking it to a previous one. So that's something that is included. And not only can you start from those high level requirements or your epic, but you can go all the way down: epic, feature, user story, test case, task, bug, all within the same UI, all within the same window, so that the context of all those linked work items are being taken into consideration as well. Does it matter which work item process we set up in our projects for elicit or analyze or any of the other functions, whether we're using Copilot or modern requirements? So the answer is no, it does not matter. Modern requirements, Copilot for DevOps, we pick up whatever process template that you guys are using today and we run with it. And when folks ask me, hey, Daniel, what does the implementation look like to set this up? Guys, I kid you not, it takes 5 minutes. The question I always ask is, how quickly can you get your Azure DevOps admin on a call to configure this? That's how simple it is. That's how easy it is. And guys, like we've been saying throughout the call, if you're on the fence, or maybe you're just curious, you want to learn more, book a demo, guys. Interact with myself. Our sales team will be happy to take you guys on this journey and understand how Copilot for DevOps can really help. Another question here in the chat: can I use elicit to go from user story to functional requirement, and then functional requirement be able to being each specific requirement individual acceptance criteria? The answer is yes. You can go from various work items and have them be considered. And to do more of a high orchestration of creating work items and considering other items, I'd strongly encourage using the chat functionality in Copilot for DevOps, because it does offer a little bit more flexibility and the ability to create your own prompts as well through conversational AI. Another question: I'm still seeing V6. Is V7 released yet? If not, so guys, not available as of yet. Today is the quote unquote teaser to get you guys familiar with what you should expect to come. But like I said, early November, second, third week, I anticipate V7 will be released, but we'll keep you guys updated along the way. And yes, we will be sending out the recording, release notes for Copilot for DevOps V7 as well. Another question, will this extension work for Azure DevOps on-prem server? The answer is yes. We support in the cloud services, Azure DevOps services, as well as Azure DevOps server on-prem. Both are supported through Copilot for DevOps. I see another question for custom work item types. So yes, the software specifications, hazard analysis, all that great stuff can be considered. And one interesting thing we didn't get to chat about today was the chat functionality actually has the ability to allow you to update your pick list fields, right? So let's say hazard or risk. That's a common one I hear with a lot of medical device or pharmaceutical companies. The chat functionality, and one interesting use case I saw was you could take a query of work items and ask the chat functionality, hey, give me a suggested risk level based on this query of work items or this individual work item. Give me a recommendation and then apply it to the work item and make the change. It did all of that with a simple prompt through conversational AI. Just going through the chat here and just looking through a few more questions. So can you show how to import a BRD and generate features? Book a demo, guys. We'll be happy to showcase what that looks like. I know we showed the setup elicitation feature in Elicit. That is something that we're going to be happy to show you in a quick demo. So book time with us or schedule or start a free trial, guys. Get your hands dirty. It's the best way to learn. I see, is Copilot for DevOps only available for Azure boards? So this is something I touched upon earlier. So in V7, it's not going to be available. However, it's something that we've heard constantly from our clients and folks like yourself. So this will be something that we're going to be looking to include come the next release of Copilot for DevOps, which I believe is going to be scheduled for early 2026. Another question is, can you please once again show what exactly we pushed as input to get all user stories and other details? So guys, whether you're using Elicit or whether you're using chat, what happens is it takes into consideration the work item title, the description, and any other fields that you would like to consider when generating the output. That, along with, let's say you attach a documentation, an image, PDF, Excel file, whatever, those can all be considered as inputs into generating your stories or other work items. Just looking through some of the other questions here. So yeah, guys, V7 will be coming out in the next couple weeks. Is Copilot for DevOps update automatically pushed to our DevOps environment? If you are on cloud, it will be. If you're using on-prem, we will make that available to folks to download. Another question here. Are those prompts you save to view across projects global or unique to the user sign-in? That's a great question. So text blocks and chat, they can actually be shared across your teams. So you do have the option, I believe, to save it to like a personal text block or personal chat, but you do have the ability to save it across the team so that everyone on your team can tap into those existing text blocks that you created, or the chats as well. You can share them across the team. Just make sure when you generate them or when you save them, you save it under the saved or shared file. Sorry. Yes, we do support other LLMs, guys. So currently, if you have your own LLM API, it has to be OpenAI or Azure AI. If your organization has your own, you can plug that directly into Copilot for DevOps and utilize that one instead of our complementary ones out of the box. Now, Currently, I think what's going to be coming in the next release is other AI models that will be supported, such as Claude and some of the other ones we're looking at. But currently, it's going to be OpenAI or Azure AI that you can not only use our own complementary LLMs, but you can configure to have your own LLM pointed to that as well. All right, looks like we have time for one more question here. I'm just looking for a good one. Let's see here. Will there be an option to create Excel file in the future? So this is actually something we're looking at as well. I believe it will be coming in the upcoming releases. I think in the current build, it's only Word or PDF, I believe, that you can generate, but using the chat functionality. But Excel files is definitely something that we're going to be looking at. And the last part two to another question is this only available for ADO boards? So yes, currently in the current build, it's only available under the boards tab and looking into work items or uploaded attachments. But a lot of folks have been asking repos, right? My code base, I want that to be considered as well. This is something that's going to be coming in the upcoming release come early 2026. All right, folks, we're wrapping up. Again, I want to thank you everyone for joining today. Guys, book time with us, book a demo, start a free trial, or even reach out to myself directly. We will be happy to take you on this journey, guys, and understand how our tool can relate to your current use cases. And booking that one-on-one time will really help, I would say, learn the ins and outs of how the tool can really help. Thank you again for your time today, guys. It was a pleasure connecting with you, and I encourage you guys all to visit the website, get started with AI for DevOps Academy, reach out to us directly, and we'll be happy to support you. Thank you again, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.